You're watching CustomVida.com.
All right, welcome to another episode of Custom Vida, and today we have model Candynchrome. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
So far I'm working on my second cup of coffee. It's right now we're at 8:45 in the morning. Trying to get this podcast in.
You got a show today too, right?
Yeah, I have a full weekend. You know, how that goes. It's nonstop nowadays.
Season is on.
So, I'm bringing you on. You're also an entrepreneur. You know, you're a business person, and today one of the highlights is I kind of want to go from. Can you give us some insight about yourself first? Introduce yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been modeling, and what got you started.
So I'm from just outside of Vancouver. There's a place called White Rock, BC. It's argumentative because it's so small. Most people say it's from Surrey. But yeah, so I'm from British Columbia, Canada. And I started modeling, I would think it would be like 2013. And it was a pinup event at a car show. And the girl was doing pictures there, and she convinced me to do a couple pictures and did my hair. And after that picture actually got published in a local magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just kept going from there. I just kind of stuck with it, and I realized that I didn't really want to do just pinup. And then I also got a lot more tattoos really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I didn't really fall into that pinup category because I didn't really have pinup style tattoos. So it just kind of adapted and figured out what I liked and what my niche was.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing was more of the creatives than, the glam style or the streamlined typical model. So I like doing creative, and if I don't see a creative, I'm not gonna just take a booking just to shoot.
Okay. And then with the creative aspect, is that what drew you more to the lowrider scene?
I've always been a part of the lowrider scene. I think I've just appreciated those vehicles the most, and I love the culture. The culture is really huge for me. And it was just something that, I've always been a huge part of the lowrider scene, so it was kind of a natural progression, I think.
And so you're part of the lowrider scene, so you're in a car club. You're not just the model. You're much, much more. I've learned a lot about you working with you over these years. So you're also a car club member?
Yeah, I've been on deck with USO Car Club for a minute. I couldn't even tell you how many years. I've been around them for probably over a decade,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't actually a plaque member until 2019. But I was a prospect for a long time because I had to get my car to standard.
Okay. And speaking of cars, what cars do you have?
Insured drivers or parts cars?
No. Well, we'll get into those parts cars later. But no, what are your driving? What is your lowrider?
I got a '96 Fleetwood.
Okay.
Cadillac Fleetwood, and then I also have a frame off Resto Mod '85 Regal, and then I have a Cutlass as a daily, and I got a other couple tucked away for a rainy day.
Oh wow. So you have that old school vibe. What got you into cars?
That was something I just knew from a young age I'd always be into. I always had like visions and dreams of driving around in cars. But it was like muscle cars. Like obviously when you're
Hmm.
younger, I didn't know anything about lowriders because I grew up in a very small town,
Hmm.
and there was no lowriders. So it was just something that I always knew I would do. And my dad was always in the cars or trucks at that time, and he wrenched. So I was always his tool helper, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. So one of the things, and I want people to really realize this. So I've literally seen people like stunned at amazement with your knowledge with cars. So you work in the industry, right? You work in the parts industry.
Yeah, I started out in the GM restoration parts industry, so I specialize in 55 and up GM.
Hmm.
It's always been Camaro, Nova, Chevelle, Impala, C10, that kind of thing, and then also Mopar.
Hmm.
But then it was pretty much COVID. I had to pivot because we couldn't get anything, so
Hmm.
nothing was coming from China, and I was kind of like, okay, well, I can't even complete an order. What am I going to do? So I started selling used G body parts on eBay. So, and that was in literally September of 2020. So I was doing that in COVID, and so I own BCG Body, and we specialize in 78 to 88 G body parts. But I don't do just G body because now I can do the restoration parts. It's starting to come back into stock, so I do everything GM 55 and up.
Nice. And then you do. I know you did a lot of what digital dash stuff.
Yeah, I do a lot of like jewelry is what I call it. So I
Hmm.
do a lot of Dakota Digital, Billet Specialties, Eddie Motorsports. So anything billet, anything custom. There's a lot of new products out there. The big thing now is just who has stock and how long is it going to take to get it. Yeah, there's some really, really good brands out there. QA1. I do all the two-wheeler stuff. There's touring stuff, performance parts, you name it.
So when you're with your experience, when people realize you do all this, I mean, what kind of reaction do you really get? Because I know some people just think of you as probably a model.
It depends on the setting. So I've had people just not even know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
And then I've had people that are just like amazed by it. And then, I mean, there's just, I don't know, like it totally depends on the setting. Like sometimes people will just start rolling with the questions to try to test my knowledge and then they can't really catch me on anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I remember when we did the shoot in Arizona, and then you were talking to them about the parts, and I think you were talking, and it was just, I
That was
just,
quick.
yeah, but it was, yeah, but it was just their faces, like their jaw just dropped, and I was just like, I was like, yeah, see, yes, so yeah, I
Yeah.
so,
But
let me get back to, so with you being in Canada, and I know you were down for a couple years, right? Because of this whole COVID. So this is where you concentrated on your business. What what do you what do you see right now? I know you're juggling a lot of stuff. What do you see? What end is going with business and modeling? How do you balance that if you're even considering that right now?
I kind of just wing it at this point. I have so much going on that there's no balance. I'm actually in the process of launching a new product right now on Amazon that I fully developed myself. It's a
Hmm.
little bit green to speak about.
Hmm.
So I'm doing that, and it'll be out in the next month. And then I just moved BCG Body into a brand new shop. That took every ounce of energy I possibly had while modeling throughout May,
Yeah.
doing this Portland Super Show and all the other events that we did in April and May.
Hmm.
So there's not really a lot of balance. As for the modeling thing, I decided to take all of June off and half of July only so I could straighten out my inventory and finish out this move properly.
Yeah.
And then it's just, it's a big juggle right now, but I do have a modeling goal. I have a business goal and I have a passive income goal, and they will blend together. But right now I'm just doing the best I can to show up and show face at every single thing I have going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard. I mean, even I'm trying to stay local for the rest of the month, covering all the events and traveling. It's been hectic, and it seems because we have a new year, a new season. For the most part, COVID's down, and everybody's throwing their shows to try to make money, and it's been seems to be pretty back to back out here. What is what is one of the I guess we say what is one of your favorite shows that you've been attending, in the last few years?
Honestly, I would say my favorite for the books is always Arizona Super Show. I just love the vibe. I love
Hmm.
everything about it. There's nothing I can say bad about that show. And then for outdoor shows, I don't know. The Selena show is pretty good. I love that show too. So it's like it's hard. I can't really pick a favorite show because they all have different dynamics. Like
Yeah,
everything, there's like you show like every venue has its pluses and minuses. The lighting's good or the lighting's terrible. The turnout's good or the turnout's terrible. You just don't really know what you're gonna get. So I would say Arizona is definitely my favorite show though.
all right. And then yeah, Arizona is a really good show. I mean, ever since and that's where we met, and then originally, and
Yeah.
our first shoot was at the Frank's Hop when they were doing it in the same weekend. Um,
What was that? 2017.
I think so. I think it was 2017 or 2018. I'm not sure. But the so we did this shoot, this recent shoot when you were in Sacramento, with the 61. That car is just beautiful, beautiful car.
Miguel from True Riders. Yes,
Yes,
that car is very beautiful.
even let you drive it.
Yeah, that's honestly my favorite car. Like that's my favorite color combo. My favorite car, 61 Impala rag, black with a corner red interior. Can't get any better than that. I mean, it's argumentative. Like there's obviously one person loves the 59, the other person loves the 64, but 61 is the one for me.
Well, yeah, you have it tattooed on your leg or your ass or whatever you want. It's there. Yeah.
Yeah, I sure do.
And so, getting to your tattoos, what made you decide just to do the full leg and everything, and because that is like your calling card. I mean, it really does make you stand out in the crowd. I mean, that's not a typical thing nowadays. It's getting people are doing tattoos a little more, the models and stuff, but it really sticks out for you. What was the concept for that?
I mean, like, I appreciate that clean skin look. Like, I think a girl looks beautiful with absolutely no tattoos. For me, I was in a really bad car accident, and I was going through all of these treatments, and the insurance company was
Mm-hmm.
just, like, pushing me through all these, like, crazy treatments and injections, and I had a really hard time with it.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, a full-time thing for about 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
so I started getting tattooed by one of the best guys locally, anyways, and it kind of used it as a pain outlet. So it was like I'd go in there and I would just like focus my pain, and it was like kind of like I don't know, like it really helped me
Mm-hmm.
mentally because I was able to like escape. Um, so when I get tattooed, I love being sober because I can kind of channel the pain.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it over the years. And then now, I mean, my tattoo guy's so hard to get into. It's like impossible to get an appointment with him. And I honestly have no ambitions to really add to anything right now because I only
Mm-hmm.
have one leg left
Mm-hmm.
and maybe my stomach. But, yeah, it was an outlet for me. Like that would be probably the summary of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely understand. I know when I first had when my mom first was diagnosed with cancer, I had my last name done on my back, and it was very therapeutic because it could be like I never had acupuncture, but people just don't understand that it does. There's something there about it. That's why they're addictive. That's why they say tattoos are addictive because it does draw the pain. It's I think it's a similar concept as
For
acupuncture.
sure.
Yeah.
Even my last sitting, I didn't get tattooed. My last piece was my Akita piece on the inside of my arm, and that was like the end of 2019. I think he did that like December 28th, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't get any tattoos. I had a pretty traumatic couple experiences in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of itching to do something. And he blessed me, my tattoo guy blessed me with a couple appointments, and these were really hard appointments to get. And so he gave me a couple appointments in September of 2020. And in September, it was my lower back. We were doing a cover up.
Okay.
And he said, like, he's like, how did you sit that well? Because I only got 2 appointments. I just sat like a rock until we were through it. And he's like, how did you do that? Because it's the lower back. Nobody sits like that. And I was like, honestly, PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just, I just worked through that with the tattoo sitting.
Yeah. And
so it's really good mentally. Yeah.
No, yeah. That's my whole thing with tattoos. I'm gonna be at a tattoo convention tomorrow as well. I'm gonna be checking that out and getting some stuff
You're
done.
busy.
Yeah, it's part of the car show that I'm gonna be at in Monterey. But so back to like the tattoos also. What do you think? I know there's some people that they're I guess they're old school. I don't know. Some people are like, oh, they have too many tattoos. What is? Do you think that's valid this day and age? Do you think that it matters? I mean, because to me it doesn't. I love tattoos and I like the tattoos on women, but in general, I don't even see tattoos as a negative, the stereotype that people have with being all tatted up.
I mean, it's totally different culturally, like from the States to Canada, like it's a totally different dynamic. In Canada, you're still going to get looked down upon. That's also why I haven't done my hands, my neck, my chest. Like I just feel like from an entrepreneur business standpoint on a female, unless you're doing something artistic or you are a tattoo artist, you're not going to get taken seriously. So in Canada, I just feel like you still got a lot of those old people that look down on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I go to the States, it's like everybody's tattooed and there's no judgment. So it's a totally different dynamic. Like I feel like Canada's always behind the U.S. It doesn't matter if it's the way that we build cars or we're always a few years behind.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is going to take at least a decade to sort out because there's just so many of the elderly people that look down on it.
And so, and then I want to go back to modeling, and you have been doing it. You're pretty much you're everywhere. You're booked for, I think you're booked for what, Atlanta. You're gonna be doing some other things. I think you're gonna go to the Salinas show. I'll be in Houston. But for any simple advice for somebody that's up and coming, a model that's trying to get out there or break into the scene?
My biggest advice would be not to copy anybody else and stay true to yourself. And just, if it doesn't, just do what you're most comfortable with and just keep, putting out that content and do, like I said, be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And just stick with it. Consistency is key. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. As long as you're consistent, you're going to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. And that's what I was just talking to, another photographer, and we're talking about like your styles, telling people like, oh, should I be like this? But it really is, find what works for you and stick with it and also, don't give in to, for me as a photographer, I tell the models, I want to meet them where they're at. So what you're comfortable with. If you just want to do pinup, you just want to do pinup. If you're comfortable in a bikini, you're comfortable in a bikini. But I'm not going to tell you what you're to be comfortable in. You know what I mean? A good photographer is going to understand your level and make it work and match up, whatever photo shoot and everything is to your vibe and everything. That's my, to reiterate that is stick with who you are, and your photographers should respect that.
Yeah, for sure. And it also comes down to posing. Like you see a lot of these car show models, like, like I have my own, like couple, like everybody has their own signature poses.
Yeah.
I've seen some girls that are like do some crazy, awesome poses and they're dancers and whatnot. I personally can't move like that because I'm injured. So I know if I put myself in that position, I'm not going to be able to walk tomorrow. So I have my signature look. So, but that's not to say that the girl next to me can't do that crazy pose. It's just do what you're comfortable with, and don't hurt yourself in
Yeah,
between.
exactly. I know it gets crazy. It's a
it's,
model Pilates and yoga. You know.
it's literally the equivalent. Like people are like, "Oh, you're on vacation." I'm like, "No, I'm dying, and my feet hurt the next day, and my body hurts." It's a whole it's not.
Well,
We're not just pretty. Like
yeah.
it's Pilates, really.
Well,
At the end of the day.
well, you're gonna just might as well just start walking around in heels at your shop, so you're just not you get used to it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's work safe for sure.
um.
Put some steel toes
Yeah,
on.
I saw your TikTok with your nails done, so you might as well just have your heels and just be completely dressed and tearing cars apart.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually like on hold with dismantles right now. I bought 3 Monte Carlos this week, and I still don't have my hoist set up, so I can't dismantle anything. So
Oh wow.
got a bit to do in the next 6 weeks.
So let's get into that, and then so you actually are hands on with these cars, and like I said, I just seen your recent TikTok about your shortening your nails to be able to work on some cars and stuff. Um, that's
So
another thing that I think probably surprises people, or they don't know about you. And if they don't, well, she's the owner of BCG Body, and also go follow that on Instagram and stuff like that. But if you are into G bodies and you need parts, you need what do you uh well, you went and bought a bunch of cars.
like, what is the process? You want to know what the process is, like how I buy them and how they
Um,
get broken down?
More or less. I mean, like in general, you're hands on. So, um, do you have an ad for the cars out there, or or now people are just telling you, hey, there's a car in someone's backyard and they want to get rid of it. Is it that what's going on right now, or?
I've gotten pretty lucky in the last, I don't know, like 3 months. Like I would say 3 months, 3 to 6 months. I have a couple guys that are always on Craigslist and now Craigslist and Marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
and they shoot me ads constantly. But I also am now in the last 3 months getting cars, offered to me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really grateful for that because I couldn't do it without that part.
Yeah.
So I mean, this week alone, I got an 80 Monte Carlo Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, I don't know, somebody has already gotten to it though, the dash and the interiors out of it, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
running and driving car. I got that one in my inbox. They're like, "Do you want it?" I said yes. I got another 84 Monte Carlo.
Mm-hmm.
I said yes too. And then I got an 81 Cutlass that somebody called me about that's been in a garage since '02,
Oh
and I'm going
wow.
to go grab that one tomorrow. So, but those are all just like within the last week, people being like, "Do you want this car? Do you want this car? We don't want to bother advertising it." So yeah, I have gotten lucky, but I do have, some help. A lot of people that are like to sit on Marketplace because I'm not the best with Facebook or social media. Like, I just feel like I don't have the time to put into it.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for those that can, that send me those ads because basically right now, if it's a Monty, I buy it. Even like these ones have been buying sight unseen. I just get my tow guy to go grab them and then drop them off in my storage.
Wow.
And then the Cutlasses and the Regals, I kind of go look at them, see what's left of them, make sure they're worth it because I got a lot of inventory.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. And so this is your business now, and so you're doing dismantling, basically taking the parts that people need or and stuff like that, interior, exterior. You're doing what, quarter panels, fenders, stuff like that. Um.
I mean, the cars I have are pretty rusty, so
Mhm.
you'll see like a lot of the people that sell parts, they kind of just leave the body there and pull what they need off of it.
Mhm.
I don't believe in that process because I feel like it's messy, it's ugly. It's also hard to get a landlord to accept that.
Mhm.
So for me, I pull a car from storage and I bust it right down to nothing. I get the body on the frame. I check the frame, see if the frame's good or if it's solid or not.
Mhm.
If the frame's solid, I'll buck the body off the frame and then the body will go to scrap. And I'll keep the frame obviously, but I definitely take those cars down to absolutely every last nut and clip that's left on it
Mhm.
because that's really at the end of the day where the money is in the $20 parts. Like quarter panel, I might get $500 for, but then it's going to cost $500 to ship it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's the bulky.
and the majority of our cars are so rusty. I've cut quarters off to a 79 or an 80 Monty, a 79 Cutlass, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I know I can't get the reproduction metal, then I will save it. I've got, fenders, hoods, trunk lids, but my biggest issue with that stuff is I can't find a buyer that's willing to pay the shipping because the shipping is so high from Washington to all the other states. So I have driven some sheet metal down to California and had the owners pick it up. And I'll probably end up doing another run, maybe for the San Francisco show, the Public Magazine one. I might drive down there loaded, just because I have so much inventory with sheet metal and it's good metal, and I know that people need it.
Yeah, and maybe you got to find one of the automotive swap meets like in Seattle or something, and then have something out there.
Go down with a trailer.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that, and then the frames. I know that you have to register a frame or whatever. But are you stacking up?
Most of them are not good.
Yeah, most of them.
I have like 5 right now, but I've probably dismantled I would say I'm on car 27 or 28. So just take that into consideration. I've dismantled 28 cars and we've only got 4 or 5 good frames out of that. That's how rusty our cars are in the Northwest. So it's my thing is in California, your guys' car, all the dry states, I should say, your guys' cars are really dry, but your interiors are disintegrated and destroyed from sun. Yes. So my cars are the opposite. They're rusty with great interiors. So I could save your cars. It's not like I'm actually ruining a car. I'm saving somebody else's car.
Yeah, exactly.
I can kind of justify it.
Oh, definitely. No, yeah. I was like, if you got any guys out there with hoppers, those G-body frames, you can get them reinforced and flip them, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a stack of them, but I got to figure out transport for them, and then obviously the logistics with customs, because customs can be tricky.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, and then so everything with you're based in Canada, so but you drop ship everything, or you ship everything, and then so
I actually have a Washington address, so I have another warehouse in Washington that everything ships from. Okay. And then I have my dismantle and my shop is in Canada. So I kind of go back and forth. And then I have a driver that goes into Washington twice a week. And if I have any packages coming from Canada, they bring them to Washington. Otherwise, they're shipping directly from Washington.
Oh, okay. So
I've kind of got it structured now.
Well, that's good. Like I said, I know people are starting to realize, they can go to you, or if they're searching for parts and stuff like that.
Anything GM 55 and up, it's not just G-body. It's just that's what happened with COVID. I do all the restoration stuff. It's just right now it's G-body specific because that's what COVID got me to do.
Okay, and then they can Google BCG Body to find the website. And you have Instagram.
BCGbody.com.
And
at BCGbody.
All right. And
we also have BCGbodyapparel.com too.
Yeah. See? You got to get I think you had the shirts and stuff like that. You get stickers, Cutlass stuff.
Yeah, we have some good gear coming out and more. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this year.
All right. Well, so I'll probably be seeing you in a couple months out here. And we're gonna get this podcast up and loaded. And I hope everybody, go follow Candynchrome on Instagram, BCG Body on Instagram. Check out these photos. If you listen to this podcast, go to customvida.com. You're gonna see the most recent photo shoot with a really beautiful 61 convertible Impala we did in Sacramento at the Cal Expo.
And the next event, I guess, for me.
Where are you going to be at next? I think Salinas, right?
Yeah, no. So first is going to be San Francisco. Impulse Magazine, San Francisco at Cal Palace. I think that's July 17th, the date is on that.
Yeah, July 17th.
And then obviously Salinas will be there. Really excited about that show. Mm-hmm. And then following that, I have some local shows that I have to do in August with my car club. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in Atlanta with St. P and Georgia for the Crazy Vatos car show. And then it's Vegas And of course, my favorite part of Vegas is actually going to be Torres Empire the following day. So
well,
really
actually, the
oh yeah, the previous day this year.
Yeah, you're on the flyer for that too.
I'm really excited about that. That's going to be. I love the Torres shows.
Yeah, Vegas is going to be interesting. That's Labor Day weekend. So, if you're going to be anywhere, be at Vegas. It's going to be the super show, but then we have the Hop Torres Empire Hop, and that's going to be a big event. Custom Vida
I don't know
is
if
on the
you've
flyer
seen,
for that. So,
and I mean, like if you guys saw my TikTok videos from the Torres Hop last year, you do not want to miss that. It was lit. They had more hoppers than they knew what to do with. So yeah, definitely make a point of coming out to that one.
Yes, absolutely. Because I'll tell you, it's a super hop. Anytime Torres does a hop, it's going to be a major hop, and there's going to be some major players from all over the country. So don't forget to hit that.
And even more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so keep on if social media and everything else, and keep tuned in. And if anything, any more events pop up or anything else changes, we'll be letting everybody know. But yeah, remember to follow and subscribe. Check out the Custom Vida Instagram, and follow and support Candynchrome also. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Candy. Thank you for your time coming up on the podcast, and we'll be seeing you soon.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. And then also, real quick, I want to let you know that I'm going to leave the information for the BCG body in, if this is on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be underneath in the information. There will be a link to her website.
To see more, go to customvida.com.